And we are live. Greetings and salutations, Dota fans, for a last minute cast. I'm gonna go show that real fast. Bad Faith Bloosher versus I Don't Care, Sign Me Up.
5 seconds remaining.
Alright, I have indeed posted it, but we are here for I Don't Care, Sign Me Up versus Bad Faith Bloosher, a rematch of the winners finals of last season's playoffs. For those who did not watch that one, it was actually won by Bad Faith Bloosher, or I should say 3 to 5 members of the Bad Faith Bloosher team, Rice Boy, Yeti, Pishja in particular. They, of course, went on to play in the grand finals and did not go well for them, but that's neither here nor there. They are taking on 3-time Lads champions. I Don't Care, Sign Me Up, which honestly, as far as their name, this is, of course, for those who don't know, this is the KU team, ex Portland Burnsiders, a team of many names. Honestly, of the names they've had over the years, I Don't Care, Sign Me Up's probably my second favorite of their names. Step Bro, I'm Stuck's definitely my favorite, but I Don't Care, Sign Me Up, I mean, it might be number 2. It's just a little wordy. If it was less wordy, I'd like it more, but it is a very wordy name. Maybe number 3 actually behind I Miss Her as well, but not important. Should be an absolutely fantastic series. Hopefully. We do have Joe Rick, aka Joe Rick, standing in for the Radiant side. So, mostly, as expected player-wise. Just Jorik for Keita. Other than that, the players are as expected. Dire team actually are fully here, which is good. Dire team have been having some weather-based problems, of course. So with the hurricanes, Helene and Milton, I believe it was Pishtia who had a lack of internet for a bit, but luckily all is well there. All our Lads players are back playing the Lads again. So we can get this pretty cool series. This, of course, series means a lot more for the Radiant side and the Dire. I'm gonna put the standings to verify. Yeah, so as it currently, as it currently stands, yeah, I guess both teams are at the exact same record. So I guess both these teams have equal weight to this. For whatever reason, I thought Bad Faith Boucher were like 15-5. They're actually 13-5. So both teams are 13-5. They're at an identical record. The winner of the series will be in the driver's seat to get the number 2 seed, rather than fighting either for 3 or 4, even potentially missing out on winners.
10 seconds remaining.
Though both teams, of course, are in a pretty fantastic position to make winners, as it currently stands. Sorry if the voice sounds a little bit off. Didn't do my vocal warm-ups, but we also are on no stream delay for once, which is an absolute rarity for me. Never happens, so it's gonna be possible to interact with the chat for once, for what that's worth, which is worth very little, but it is something. It is, if you're looking to mix things up, I can respond to you in chat for once. We have picks and bans. Probably should talk about those a while ago. Bans: Ursa, Tusk, Earth Spirit, Omni, Centaur, Mars, Magnus, Sand King, Clockwork, Shadow Demon, Doombringer, Medusa Underlord, Storm Spirit, 8-pick Willow, 9 response Luna, 13 Tiny, 14-15 Pango, Naga, 16-17 Timbersaw, Bane, 18 SF, 23 Invoker. It will end up being a Pydock, aka Malefic, support Naga Siren, I do believe, which will be interesting regardless of what happens there. Actually, I'm not quite sure. I think both of them do play it. Both Kobe and Pydock both play it, but we'll end up seeing who ends up playing it there. Of course, Luna. It's going to be the name of the game for this Dire side team. Will be the late game carry for Yeti. I know both Luna and SF have been to the premier carries of the patch. I've heard it's, Luna, SF, Morphling are generally at the top 3 nowadays. How true that is, I'm honestly not sure, but it sounds about right to me, so. I'm sure the SF side of the SF Luna matchup has been labbed out a million times. Foreplay, of course, should be at least somewhat aware of how to play the matchup, given he is, he's relatively up to date in his tech. He's not some, out of date player like myself who does not know the modern tech.
10 seconds remaining.
He's got some people that he knows. He's in the real Arteezy guild.
Remaining.
He's a good friend of Liquid Jabs. So there's some good friends of Logical Dota, of course. So they are brains for foreplay to pick if SF itemization is the name of the game. Overall, though, I think I prefer this Dire Side lineup. This Dire Side lineup feels incredibly easy to play. I don't really think it requires as much skill as the Radiant side lineup to play. This Naga hero to play at the highest levels is pretty notoriously difficult. Of course, you can get some. You have high base armor as well. You can do just by existing, but to maximize the impact and support Naga is notoriously difficult. You've seen some all-time great players like say Chuan and AUI do it, but generally speaking, it is hard to play support Naga to its fullest potential. Let's see if the three-time last champion Kobe, aka League of Legends, aka Bipolar Kid, it's good enough to pull it off tonight. It'll end up being Malphite on the Willow, by the way, not on the Naga. I don't know why, but for whatever reason, I thought he was playing the Naga, but whoops. Is my Steam on Do Not Disturb? It is very cool. It is supposed to be on that. Let's go turn on my caster config. It's on. Unfortunately, I can't draw my boxes and my X's, but other than that, it should be mostly mostly fine. Radiant side. I don't care, sign me up. They have smoked up as 5. On the Dire side, do they have a smoke? They do not. So smoke not purchased, not needed. Radiant will be in their jungle first. Kobe in the vanguard. Pistia breaks the Radiant side smoke. They're aware of his positioning. Malphite runs to the west, back towards the high ground. For now, it's only KU and Foreplay smoked. I don't know if Dire know they broke a smoke there. I don't think they know, but either way, it has happened, so will mean that if there is a fight, Radiant will play this very convenient high ground. Dire have warded, though, so again, if there is that movement from the south side, it should be spotted out. Looking at Radiant Vision, they do not see anybody right now. They obviously know something could be up. Looking at Dire again, both teams see nothing right now. Radiant may see Pistia very soon, but not quite yet. Again, neither team knows still. The vision is very limited. Here we go. Pingu walks forward, has been spotted. In comes Joe Rick. He's inside the brambles, but he's still absolutely fine. Rune goes to Rice Boy. He's half HP. Tanks the raise. First blood goes to Beach Jeans, but it's vengeance time. Down goes Rice Boy. Jorvik is low. Pingu is low. Jorvik survives. Now he'll die. A 2-for-2 trade. Boom, boom, and Pistia. Pistia goes down, but look at Foreplay. He's so low as well. The kill. They'll go to Ice Yeti. Now a 3-for-3 trade. They'll head to Pydock. Here's a Lucent Beam to hit him right now. He's on the run, but he's got more moves than the Luna. Cold Snap. The Brambles. Yeti's fighting for his life. Down goes Icy Yeti. A 4-for-3 trade. Beach Jeans has the Brain Sap. The Fairy Fire from Malphite keeps him alive for the time being. He's still holding Brain Sap. Now Brain Sap. Malphite barely dies. Now Beach Jeans. He's fighting the 1v1 with no HP. KU brings him down. That's a full 5-man wipe. A 5-for-4 trade per Rehorn. I'm sure Radiant won that one. I do think. There are still bounty runes here and here. That is one fantastic start to our game. Need to catch my breath after that one. My. You love to see it. It's been a number of games recently that have been very boring. Not much action early on. It's as if the Dota universe is like, you know what? You've casted this game last minute. We're going to award you with some actual action, some actual excitement, and well, we've certainly got it. That is undoubtable. I expect this bottom lane should be the most interesting lane in this game. I'll cover the other lanes real fast. Mid lane, Invoker, Timbersaw seems pretty okay for both sides. I honestly don't really care about the lane. Top lane, Pangolier Willow versus Luna Bane. I would expect Luna to win the lane, but again, I just don't care about this lane. This bottom lane, though, was fascinating. So SF Naga versus Venge Tiny. It looks like the SF should be pretty fine in this lane. By the way, Bane died top lane, but hypothetically, Dire can kill him. And SF is not the tankiest hero in the game. Notice he has 8 wand charges right now, so if they go in with the missile and the avalanche toss combo, perhaps he can still survive. One raise misses from foreplay. He'll hit the long range raise, but Pingu will walk away. I'm curious to see, because then obviously you do not want the SF to just sit in this lane, play Dota 2, have a good time. You need to go on him and kill him now. Of course, foreplay will position properly, and of course, Kobe should give him some angles against potential wild and crazy wraparound gank from Tiny. Speaking of Tiny, he walks forward. He'll toss the Naga towards the SF. SF survives. Pisha has spells on cooldown. So does Pingu. I believe the Radiant side won that trade, but it's a very violent bottom lane. Looking over at CS. Oh, correction. Bottom lane again. Kobe's still running. Foreplay has the raise. Avalanche is there against Kobe. Toss is available, but Pingu cannot find it quite yet. He's still holding it. Still holding it, not using it. Doesn't think he has the damage. And I think he's right that he actually does lack that damage, so did not want to go in and commit it. There's, of course, mid lane. Invoker Timbersaw. It is going the way of the Timbersaw, despite KU getting level 2 pre-horn. Rice Boy playing Timbersaw, the absolute apex of high-skill Dota mid lane, of course. Avalanche, perfect bottom lane, finds foreplay. He's tossed towards Pistia. Foreplay is running, and one more hit will finish the job. They'll head to Kobe. Kobe should survive, but again, it's certainly a one fight. He actually has missile under that tower. He's diving on Pistia. Kobe now turns. Both Pistia and Kobe will go down. Double kill for the Venge Spirit, but no experience goes to either the SF or the Naga. A big fight win bottom goes the way of bad Faith Bloosher. We're up to 13 kills now at minute 4. That's a 3 kill per minute clip, though. Of course, that is putting our finger on the scale here a little bit with those 9 pre-horn kills. Yes, they're not technically all 9 pre-horn kills, but they are pre-lane kills. Of course, the fight only really broke out around the horn time and lasted far past I think at the second 45 that the fight ended, so obviously lasted a good while there. Sorry if you heard that, by the way. Had my coffee glass hit my water glass on accident. One raise from foreplay, but he misses the medium range raise. As a result, Pingu walks away. That second raise wouldn't have killed him anyways, but that is mana lost for 0 damage rather than mana lost for some damage. Long range raise, this time hits. Pingu needs to be a little bit careful of death. He does have 3 stick charges through the Twin Gates. Comes Beach Jeans. He's wrapping from the south side. He has no points in Nightmare, so going in may be a little bit difficult. He'll be relying on either the Venge or the Tiny to start the trade, and he'll be that follow-up secondary hero rather than the primary hero. Pingu postures forward. He'll toss the Naga towards the Venge Spirits. Missile has been used. Avalanche on 2. They'll certainly bring down the Naga, but foreplay nearly brings down Pingu already. Long range raise misses the Tiny, though. Only the Bane. As a result, Pingu walks away. He'll tip foreplay. And now it's Malefic bottom lane who tanks a magic missile from the Venge. He's forced to Shadow Realm just to destroy a bit of his damage, and that is not a winning charade for the 3-time champions bottom lane. We're up to 7 kills now for both sides. Of course, Naga has returned. The Cataclysm bottom will not end, we'll say. Pingu walks forward. Can't find a target. This Radiant Ward should give pretty decent vision here on this Potential wraparound from the west side play. Of course, that Sentry Ward could be a problem in the near future. Now with both supports gone from the top lane, both the Bane and the Willow bottom lane, we've also a Pangolier Luna 1v1 top lane. Should be good for the Luna, but I have no idea. Bottom lane, Pingu has the Lotus to delay his death, forcing a Shadow Realm out of Malefic, but the kill is still a kill. I suppose thanks to that Lotus, though, the kill went to the Willow rather than the Luna, so... Luna? SF, that's the word. So a win is a win there. I was mentioning how Rice Boy was ahead in terms of CS, but despite the CS lead earlier, Invoker is now the one who is ahead in CS. And as a result, he is ahead in net worth. He's at 4k net worth on the Invo. Timbersaw is only at 2.5k. Rice Boy has actually TP'd towards the bottom lane. He's ganking. Pingu tanks a tower. Now Rice Boy tanks a tower. He'll chain forward. One raise from foreplay. Hits Timbersaw. Two raises. Three raises are fantastic, but he's still alive on Rice Boy. We need more damage. Where is the blood grenade? Flies. Pingu goes down. KU TP'd in for secure that kill. And the tornado from long range forces the Duke to the west side. The shocker means that there's a raise from foreplay. That's now two big kills for the side of I don't care. Sign me up. One kill going to the Mid Invoker, one kill going to the safe lane Shadow Fiend. And those are the kills you want to see as the laning stage sort of disintegrates here now. Again, this Timbersaw is not having fun. Of course, you play Timbersaw, you want to be ahead. That's kind of what your hero does. He gets ahead, and when he's ahead, he doesn't take damage, and he does damage, But if this hero gets behind, he doesn't really provide anything. I mean, all he does is damage, so if he's not, you know, at an appropriate level of damage relative to the game states, his hero doesn't do anything, so we are going to need a bit of recovery from the middle lane of Rice Boy. Of course, Season 3 Lads champion Rice Boy, looking to make it a second championship season this season. Top lane, Beach Jeans has been caught by KU and Pydock. And the kill goes to Joe Rick on the Pango. Meanwhile, bottom lane, there's a lot of pings going on. But for now, it's only a net against the Venge. Foreplay walks forward, tanks a two-man avalanche. Get tossed towards the Venge. He'll Requiem on SF. It's cancelled swap from Pistia. Now he'll Requiem. He'll fear away both. Tiny's half HP, tanks one raise. Walks to the east side. Tanks the long-range raise as well, but it's still no kill against the Tiny. Tiny pops the stick. Pistia will magically missile the real Naga Siren. Pingu now tosses the illusion towards the Naga. Pydock TP's in. Beach Teens walks in. Currently at 3v3. Brambles allow the SF to TP to the fountain. Now supports again will scramble. They will survive. Jorik TP's in. He's got the roll. Here comes the roll. It'll hit Pingu. The urn is there as well. Tiny to fall is already one kill. They'll move to Beach Jeans' Bane. He'll brain sap the creeps just preemptively not to die to the Pangolier, and our fight is over. I think top tower died. For whatever reason, it's not showing up on my little thing here. It should. That's what he muted for some reason. I don't have anybody muted, do I? I don't know why I would, but sometimes you misclick on accidents. Yeah, I do not have anybody muted here, but suppose it is what it is. Top tower went down to the creeps. Don't know why it's not me. It's because I'm in Dota TV and not in the lobby. You got a bit of a graphical glitch, but it is what it is. Beach Jeans has been spotted. Malefic and Kobe will run into Pingu. Tornado EMP will hit the Tiny. Bedlam is used as well. Swap has been used against KU. Shock from the follow. KU's half HP running. Terrorize. Hits two. It's the Venge and the Timbersaw inside the Terrorize. Pydock will give his life for his mid lane Invoker to flee. It ends up being a 1-for-1 trade support for support. What was a lot of dire side TPs forced out, though. Notably the Luna TP'd over, though I'm sure Luna is in a place where she wants to be at this stacked ancient camp. Nice little place to be here with all these creeps that were stacked up. And I'm talking as if it's a lot of creeps. It actually isn't. It's only a double stack, but You know, every stack counts. Every stack counts. Top lane, roll in by Joe Rick. Pingu's in danger. Joe Rick used the terrain nicely with that swashbuckle, secure the solo kill. Off the rock, into the rock. And this is a nice little back and forth here with the geometry. And Pingu had his ankles broken on that one. In the river, Rune goes the way of Kobe. You want to bring down Rice Boy once again. He's actually entirely out of mana. Now he's entirely out of HP as well. Tornado misses. Beach Jeans has been slowed again by the Riptide. It's a 35% slow now. And Beach Jeans will simply walk away. This tower, though, will not be so lucky. It cannot run away from the Radiant Heroes. As a result, perhaps we'll see a bit of an action bottom lane. We're seeing a 3-man smoke. That's Luna, Venge, and Bane. Headed towards Foreplay. Foreplay is beyond the tower. They're picking his location. He's running to the west. Bane has Grip. Pistia has Swap. The Ward spots him out, but he's still running to the west. It'll barely be A-okay. Back to the dire side tri-camp. Now Radiant are smoked as 3. Willow, Pangolier, and Naga. They'll sweep to the south side. Meanwhile, Pistia and Beach Jeans and Yeti are still hunting for Foreplay. But Foreplay, either aware or literally just kind of sensing things out here. He knows something is up. Radiant now scan. They'll run into Yeti. Brambles hit Pistia. Roll comes out from Joe. Rick's Bedlam from Malefic. They're scrambling on Venge and Luna. Luna has Eclipse. This is simply a death play here. Malefic will not die. Both the Venge and the Luna will die. That's 2 core kills. For I Don't Care, sign me up. And well, this is a very fantastic start to our game. And you think about the way this this I Don't Care, sign me up, these KU stacks play lads. There's a very specific philosophical way they play, and I have time to explain it now because we're paused thanks to a disconnection from Pistia, aka P Guy. But so the way this team evaluates lads, as far as I know, the way they've always evaluated lads is they like to play a sort of macro style in which they're very opportunistic, you know, which is good. Obviously, every team in Dota should be opportunistic, but they go around, do whatever they can. They acquire the items, splitting the map until they recognize their team is strong. At least they evaluate their team is strong, and then they do something they like to call running the train, which of course, you know, it's grouping up, grabbing objectives, towers, Roshan, high ground, etc. And these KU stacks have been notoriously good at running the train. They get their items, whatever happens to be this game. It's a BKB on SF, not even buying it yet, but you know, whatever's going to be to win these team fights, and then you control the map and you limit your opponent's eco and you force the issue. And there are some teams that in that position would really drag things out and really play extraordinarily slow games. I mean, a couple very obvious candidates for that. Couple of them actually I know are watching this watching the stream right now. I'm not gonna call out any names, but a number of teams of course are very slow in those positions, but these KU teams are often much more willing to simply end the opponent's lives and say, you know what, we're stronger than you, we're going to run the train, we're just gonna win the game. And we're honestly not all that far from that stage of the game here. I'd say probably about 15 minutes away from Radiant really running the train. They might even do it before that, you know, with control perhaps the outside tri-camp. Maybe steal a Tormentor, of course grab tier 2, grab a tier 2, perhaps grab maybe a Night side Roshan top side, maybe even do that. If you could do that, then you could of course control this far north area of the map. You're already seeing KU. He's zoning Pingu away from the area of the map. Of course, Dire want to farm up some of these key items, you know, Blink on Tiny and so on, but if Radiant make it unsafe, because there's no tower to TP into at the top lane anymore, then you can kind of ruin their day. Meteor actually did minimal damage, so KU does not get the kill quite yet. Beach Jeans is running and looking for Grip, perhaps. With the tree cover, KU is fine for the time being. Where was I? Oh yeah, so we are back to the video game once again. Wisdom runes go 1 to both teams. Of course, the KU side up by 6,000 net worth, but despite that, Dota Plus is not that high on them. Only a 62% chance to win, despite being way ahead in both XP and gold. Maybe again, Dire have this Luna hero, they have this Venge hero. I mentioned earlier in the draft, these are pretty easy heroes to execute on. They have a very obvious gameplay strategy, and that is going to be the idea is you play through the Luna, of course. You acquire items on the cat lady, and then she wins the video game. Whether or not that's going to happen will have to depend on how the game goes tonight, but that's going to be the ideal play. Yeah, if you can get to a strong position, it's going to take a lot of finesse to bring her down. You get, say, a 4-item Luna, a 5-item Luna, sure, you can kite her around and ruin her game and eventually get enough damage on the SF and items to maneuver around the Invo and the Pango and so on, but playing Luna is just kind of easy. You press your buttons and it just works. And you just roll your face across the keyboard and odds are it's probably gonna go well. Timber chain forward by Rice Boy. Now if it takes a lot of damage, but in comes the roll from Joe Rick, stunning Timbersaw. Gets swapped away by Pistia. As it currently stands, Pistia is in no man's land. Nightmare, not even quite sure where it went. Regardless, Pistia is in a lot of danger right now. Pistia is dead. Grip is there on Evoker, but a song will cancel the grip. It's a 3-man song. Yeti has arrived to the fight. In comes our Meteor, doing damage towards Rice Boy. Rice Boy's barely going to get brought down by the Requiem. It's trade for Kobe, but now down goes Pingu. Beach Jeans runs to the north side. Yeti runs to the east side. Radiant will go on. Beach Jeans instead. Sunstrike misses. Beach Jeans juked it on out, but the result is the same. Last hit is there via the Tornado. It's a 4-for-1. Correction, 4-for-2 route. Both Radiant subs for 4. And now we are waddling towards the Roshan pit. It will be that nighttime Roshan, as I mentioned earlier, where it's like, you know what? You see a lot of these better teams and lads do this nowadays. It's like, if you get ahead at the stage of the game, of course that third daytime is the obvious one, but you're seeing more and more that second nighttime Roshan with the right heroes. You, of course, have that minus armor via the Shadow Fiend, that Presence of the Dark Lord aura, and again, makes this entire thing a little bit easier. Vanaga, of course, there as well with that. Is there still minus armor on that? There's not. Okay. There's not minus armor on Riptide, which is no longer called Riptide. It's now called Deluge. So, whoops. Is that like maybe the facet is like Deluge versus Riptide? Is that how that works now? I don't play Naga. I also don't play Dota, but I definitely don't play Naga. SF acquire the Aegis. As it currently stands, Bloosher have 3 bottom lane that go in for KU. That's the man without 2 lives. He'll Tornado the Luna and the Bane. He now runs to the east side. Pistia wants to secure the kill. He's currently dusted on KU, but Pistia was kited around. Beach Jeans is brought down. Yeti TP'd away, but again, you chose that fight on Bloosher. You wanted that fight. You said, you know what? This is our engagement that we choose. We want to go in on KU, but again, this I don't care, sign me up team. We're ready to have 3 dudes to the east side, and I mean, it's good counter response there. They were ready for that. Bot T1 goes down. Confirmed there is indeed a Dota TV graphical glitch going on right now. Malefic is dead. Rice Boy, tanks Tornado, who should be dead very quickly. Will, of course, move to Pingu. Swashbuckle misses entirely. But both the SF and the Invoker provide more than enough damage despite Jorik's follies. That's 2 more kills for KU's Invoker. They, of course, once again head for more. They'll dive for Pistia. Swashbuckle, I think this time it did it, but again, 3 kills. Once again, 2 more core kills thrown in there, and this is an absolute disaster for bad Faith Bloosher. If they want to get that, I mean, ignore the top 2 seed, even if it's the top 4 seed at this point. They need to play a little bit better in game number 2. Of course, game number 1's not even over yet, but It feels over. It really does. But there's one man who can save the game, but of course, I mentioned it earlier, it's Luna. I'm not sure if BKB will be enough this game, but that may be what it'll have to be. We're about 2,600, I believe, from BKB. Something like that, and a little more than that, actually. About 2,700. Still, that's what we're going to need, is that on the Luna. Mid lane, Blink, Avalanche tossed against Invoker. Grip was used as well, and in comes Vengeance to avenge their mid lane Invoker. Roll is there from Joe. Rick Terrorize hits the Venge. They want to bring down Luna, and they certainly will. Now they'll head to Bane, who tanks a Cursed Crown. With that Aghanim's Shard? Aghanim Shard? The Sleepwalk Nightmare Facets. He managed to walk away a little bit on Bane, but it mattered not. It's still a 2-for-1. And sure, you kill the mid lane Invoker, you get that streak kill for Yeti. He dies on the Luna. Malefic dies to another Avalanche Toss combo from Pingu. So 2 Avalanche Toss initiations from Tiny in a minute. Both of them result in kills. Pretty fantastic play from the support Tiny, but well, we're still going mid. SF, of course, has 2 lives. He perhaps could have stayed, but knowing the Bane is respawning, knowing the Luna is not that far from living either, they end up backing off, actually, so. For the time being, the tier 2s will live. Perhaps Dire will go for a Tormentor plus Wisdom Room play. Nothing too wild and crazy there, but Sunstrike did scout things out a little bit, but yeah, unsurprisingly, Tormentor goes to the Dire side. A free shard for Beach Jeans, which of course will make it an AoE Brain Sap, which is pretty cool. And on the other side, Radiant grabbed their Tormentor as well, getting the upgraded Song for Kobe. It has given this max HP regen for a little bit, I do believe. At least in different iterations over either the Aghanim Shard or the Aghanim Scepter over the years, but it also gives him max mana regen per second now as well, which is pretty cool. So, yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Mid lane, once again going in for KU, but instead his right spot he was in danger. Almost missed that kill because he dies fairly quickly. And also was busy reading Naga tooltips. As a result, we'll head it down the middle lane. SF only has 1 life, but I mean, he might only need 1 life if we're being honest with ourselves right now. Mid lane tier 2 is dead. Brought down by 4-play. And we are paused, this time by the Radiant side. We're up to 2 pauses. Technically, they're both done by the KU Radiant side, but one of them was for a Dire side disconnection, so I'll consider it 1 pause to both teams. Looking at Radiant Vision, they do not see Venge currently. But of course, the name of the game will be run it on down over here. Take the tower there, bring in the wave, begin to cut off this map again. You've already taken that mid T2, so this top tier 2 will be a lot softer to take down. Really, the only defensive angle will be from this direct eastern angle. There no longer will be that southeastern option to the same extent. And even if, again, right now, you see this ward from Malefic is prepared for that that idea, because again, usually if this tower's alive, you TP in here and perhaps go with this angle, but that's not an option right now. So instead, you have maybe this angle, but it's gonna have to be a smoke. And yeah, if you have a hero positioned over here, maybe the Willow, maybe the probably the Willow, but if you hero over here, then that'll break that smoke. Perhaps leads to an absolute disaster. It's not a great spot to be on the sort of choke point and low ground area here. So if I had to guess, this top tier 2 tower is simply going to die with minimal contesting. Or maybe not. They actually are going to do it. But again, notice the ward spotted out the Tiny, and it will see the... Okay, it did not see the Bane, I don't think. May have barely saw the Bane. But they know there's a defense going on, and I guess the 3-man defense is a little bit too much to completely shove into without the use of immortality for foreplay, so... Instead, we'll wait for that second Roshan. Bloosher, though, will not wait. They will smoke out and go towards Joe Rick. But miscommunication almost blows the kill. That could have been an absolute disaster. But it ended up working out anyways. Tiny jumped forward. Venge swaps. Probably should have been the Tiny who had the initiation there, but miscommunications do happen. Regardless, Joe Rick is dead. I think if Fresh smoked again, so they really want more than just the Joe Rick kill. For now, that will be that top tier 1 tower, but the remainder of I Don't Care, Sign Me Up, simply do not care about this area of the map at the current time. They will abandon it entirely.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
We are acquiring some big items, of course, on the Bloosher side. Axon Venge has to be the big one. So, Venge Ags, for those who don't know, is really good. It is one of the very best Ag Interceptors in the game. It's good offensively. It's good defensively. It's good when ahead. It's good when behind. It's good in even game states. No matter what you're trying to provide, you can always use an Ag Scepter. Pitch Jig has gone on by Dark Will. Bedlam is there. Roll follows up, and now Venge will actually load his orbital block. So Pistol wanted to swap the Pango up here, but the Lotus was in time. And as a result, the swap got reflected, so it was a swap and then a reverse swap, the result in the swap doing absolutely nothing. Unfortunate there for the Venge, of course. He's still hunting on Pitcha. He respawns in 12 seconds, so if swap in 5, perhaps he'll go for an aggro swap play, then respawn looking to fight. Swap is up, he respawns in 3. And it is respawn time. The Venge has returned. Looking over at Roshan, it's a very early Roshan respawn. It's about a minute, I believe, a respawn there. Maybe a little bit less, actually, so yeah, we're smoking on up towards the Roshan pit area on the nighttime side. Foreplay breaks his smoke top lane. Somebody will walk into the Roshan pit like, hey guys, is Roshan alive? Turns out, yes. But we're not full committing quite yet. Bloosher have 4 top lane. They're now smoked up as 3, smoked up as 4, making the smoke up as 5. Roshan roars. Currently, he's half HP. Look at the positioning, though. Both Naga and Willow have good angles. Smoke will be broken, and the illusion spotted things out. They'll go in for Naga. And she could not mech or pipe in time. BKB now from Rice Boy as he goes in for Malefic. Roshan dot. Edis goes to Foreplay. Banner's grabbed as well now. It's TP away time by Foreplay. Foreplay will leave. And again, a fantastic Lotus from KU. Now Joe Rick TP's away, but that'll mean that KU's left to die. So KU dies. Meanwhile, on the south side, Malefic is brought down by Beach Jeans and Rice Boy. So both teams got what they came for. Radiant came for Roshan. They got Roshan. Dire came for Carnage, and they got Carnage. overall macro wise, it's probably a good thing for I don't care, sign me up. They grab Aegis and Banner, but again, that's 5,000 gold lost and a lot of experience going back the way of Bloosher. Check out this graph here. Yeah, now Dire are ahead in XP, so you better really use the Aegis well, because again, half of your gold lead and your entire XP lead and then some have been lost. The green line is not, look at this green line. It is not a fan. It's 51% for Radiance for what it's worth. So maybe the green line doesn't quite know the way that KU and company played a macro game, but oh man, green line not happy. Of course, Luna, who has been having a relatively quiet game, is now #1 in net worth. I guess relatively quiet is probably the wrong term, but I'm going to stand by it anyways. Yeti, of course, has BKB and Manta. Also, he's got a Mask of Madness and a Conda, who work towards Butterfly, looking to diversify the build even further. And again, relatively standard out-of-the-box Luna stuff, but effective nonetheless. Mid lane, Radiant side T1 will go down. Top lane seems to be the area where the fun will happen, though. That is where I don't care, sign me up are largely grouped. They have 4 heroes. Top lane, T2 will go down. Meanwhile, it's a nightmare against KU. He'll get gripped as well. There's the Eclipse. It's a huge kill against KU. Requiem's there, but it's just too late. Maybe they'll kill Beach Jeans. But Yeti is running. Actually, he'll turn. A bold play from Yeti. We'll turn with BKB. Beach Jeans is dead. In comes the work with the roll. Fishtier is here. Swapping in Kobe. Kobe is dead. Point was lost on foreplay, and now Yeti is low on mana. But in comes the team. Foreplay has no Requiem. He's already so low, and he's already so dead. It was not a bold play from Yeti. His team was on the way. And as a result, an absolute disastrous fight for I don't care, sign me up. Joe Rick. He's alive, but oh no, he's got no TP. What an absolute disaster for I don't care, sign me up. And perhaps Dota Plus was right after all. Oi, oi, oi. This bot tier 2 tower is already dead. That is the power of Luna for you. And oh man, I guess the Luna Courier will die for that, but that is not an equivalent exchange. Not now, not ever. Jork is right into Pingu! Pingu is already with Avalanche Toss now. First, it's Pangolier with a Lotus Orb, but it's not an easy nut to crack, but they'll try to crack him nonetheless. The spells are on cooldown, and that will be a dead Joe Rick Pangolier. That's now a 2,000 net worth lead for Bad Faith Bloosher, their largest lead of the game, of course. And I was at this spot right over here, I declared this game felt over. I said over here the game felt over, and it felt a little over at the time, but clearly, prognosticator and commentator Badger simply incorrect once again. That is a poor prediction on my part, and of course, if you're Bloosher, you're like, hey, that's pretty good. Of course, at this point, again, I don't care, sign me up. I'm not quite sure what their easy angle is to win the game anymore. Obviously, they can simply finesse the team fights and acquire some items, but they no longer have that sort of economy edge they had earlier. It's going to require, you know, good team fighting. Perhaps that third Roshan, but third Roshan, it's just going to take a while to happen. Pingu is barely short on the Avalanche. As a result, there's no kill on KU, but again, perhaps sloppy play for once out of this KU units. Yeah, obviously you do not expect that out of the 3-time champions, but and this is a very sloppy macro mid-game that's going on right now, uncharacteristically so. Rice Boy has been spotted, but blinks away in time! The reactions from Rice Boy. Joe Rick is rolling, but again, Pishtiel will jump forward. Avalanche is there on 1, terrorized, hits 2, Rice Boy will BKB. He's Chakrming. Currently, nobody's dead. Requiem will do very, very little. Has a grip against Shadow Fiend. To the clips on Luna. That's huge damage. Goodbye, foreplay. Malefic is dead. Double kill for Ice Yeti. They'll head to Kobe. The song will temporarily save his team. But is there saving this game state? I'm not quite sure anymore. Hemorrhaging gold would be the term I would use. That's a 16,000 gold swing in about 7 minutes. Dark Willow Malefic buys back into the game, and perhaps that will be enough to, you know what, we'll get that tier 2 tower. No, they're going for more. And so, you know what, we want SF to buy back. We know we're strong. You need to buy back your SF or we're going to high grounds. Yeti and Pistia both hit the tower. Of course, Venge has 2 lives to play with. Luna is, you know, one of the best building hitters in Dota history. The Yeti with BKB on cooldown is being a little bit careful. Perhaps letting Pistia be the primary man in the front lines for the time being. Sunstrike hits Venge, and Venge will lose 1 life. So good Sunstrike by KU, and now in comes, never mind, no roll from Joe Rick. He pump faked the roll, canceled it. T3 goes down, that'll be dead for later, but it's time to smoke and retreat for Bad Faith Bloosher. So a win, despite the cool Sunstrike by KU, is in the play for Bad Faith Bloosher. Of course, both Tormentors have respawned. Radiant grabbed theirs, immediately giving a free shard to Joe Rick, getting that roll-up upgrade. The Dire one will be alive for a little bit longer, perhaps, but I'm sure eventually that'll go down as well. Big pickup for foreplay. He's got the Daedalus. That's a lot of damage, but he still lacks the BKB, notably. He'll tank an Avalanche, but with the Glimmer Cape, he's kept alive. Pingu was trying to fish there for a bit of a play. Bit of a, you know, low-risk, high-reward play. Ultimately did not find the connection, thanks to the backup that foreplay had, but a good idea nonetheless. Meanwhile, in the river, a little bit of action breaks out over there. Venge and Pangu are both stunned. Joe Rick rolls on around. Pistia will Manta. Curse Crown will stun the Venge once again. But again, he's playing Venge. He'll have 2 lives. In comes Bane. Manta from foreplay. Keeps away from the Bane for the time being. I think Grip was blocked by something. I'm not entirely sure. Pistia is dead, though. The illusion is still in the game, though. So it's kind of a 5v5 still. Is that perhaps the Lotus? Maybe it was a grip on a Lotus target and it was canceled immediately, perhaps? That's my best guess, but still. There are a lot of... Oh, there's a spot from Pistia. Looking for foreplay. The follow-up was not quite there, though. Missile was dodged by the Manta from foreplay. Avalanche hits Shadow Fiend once again. In comes Rice Play with the damage. Oh, Big KB and Chakram. The song from Kobe has been used. Rice Boy is currently isolated. Now his Big KB has ended. Requiem is pump fake from foreplay. He'll now retreat. Pistia goes in looking for a swap play. Perhaps still on cooldown, actually. SF gets stunned. Jork gets annihilated. Now Pistia will buy back for another swap, perhaps. He's looking for the swap forward, but he's currently netted by Kobe. Regardless, Dire will pursue. They want more kills, but they will not find them. So there's a buyback used by Pistia. The idea was there. The execution was not. Regardless, it's another win, I do believe, for Bloosher. Net worth-wise, thanks to the buyback, it's actually good for I don't care, sign me up, but XP-wise, it is a win for Bloosher. Despite Bloosher being in the winning state right now, there are a lot of people perhaps preying on Bad Faith Bloosher's downfall. We've seen multiple different alumni of the Bloosher team perhaps preying on their downfall today, which I don't blame them necessarily, but it is worth observing. By the way, Roshan can be alive. We are very deep into that respawn window for the third Roshan of the night. Eventually, it'll be alive. But eventually is not now. course, we see Yeti wearing the sort of widow funeral attire, perhaps getting ready to say the last word in testament for Radiant's chances in this game if she can get that Aegis of the Immortal on the top side. Roshan. Oh no! Oh yes! And there it is. Unfortunately, though, Sunstrike spotted it, which means that. So they'll go for Tormentor instead. Knowing that they're at Roshan, they'll go for Tormentor. They'll take getting a free shard for the will. So it'll be a tier 2 tower and Tormentor taken. The only problem is it'll be Roshan in exchange. That's the Aegis. That's the banner. That's an Aghanim Scepter. It'll be an Aghanim's for Rice Boy, perhaps. Nobody's grabbed it quite yet. Pingu goes forward. Terrorize has been used against Venge Spirit. Now Thick TP's away, but it's been cancelled with a toss from Pingu. And that'll be a dead Dark Willow, but the more important heroes get away. Back to Aghanim's status. Rice Boy has consumed it, so that'll give him that that upgraded reactive armor, of course. Make him a little more invincible on the Timber Saw. However, it is, I believe the Aghanim's thing is dispellable. That is correct, right? Dispellable, the Aghanim's thing? I'm pretty sure it is. And if it is, then of course you have the Invoker. I believe there's a Yule's as well. There's not a Yule, so only the Invoker, but that is a dispel nonetheless. If it's not dispellable, then I am spreading misinformation. Which would not be unheard of, but still. Bottom lane, it's Tiny and Luna headed high ground. Tornado EMP will hit the Tiny, who actually will dodge the Nanoburn with a Wind Waker of all things. T3 is dead. Dire will banner to secure that creep right over there. Full racks have been secured bottom. Yeti now moves middle lane, looking for the soft set middle lane. Of course, with that tier 2 tower alive top lane, it simply cannot be megas, but again, 2 racks are 2 racks. I don't think if you get 2 racks for no deaths, you can be too upset about that, but again, the macro play should be relatively obvious. You set up camp over here by the outpost. Maybe put some wards up over here, whatever. You drag in this wave, you grab the tower, and then you wait for a good opportunity to grab the megas. If you can slow siege, you're not forced to fight things. Of course, I don't care, sign me up. They're leaving the race immediately. Pingu broke the smoke immediately. The Avalanche, too. He tossed up foreplay. What a great play from Pingu. Foreplay, Big KP's Jorvik is rolling. They want to kill Yeti, but he still has 2 lives. And it's Satanic. There's a grip against SF. SF is saved by Kobe for the time being. Yeti will be KB forward. He still has Satanic on Luna. He's holding it for the time being. The tier 2 is brought down top lane. It's the last outer tower for the Radiant side to lose. And here we go. Avalanche. There's a toss against Shadow Fiend way outside the base, but he gets away with the Shadow Blade for the time being. Pingu will also leave the Radiant base. Yeti still has Satanic. Look, use it on creeps perhaps. And he will. Going back to full HP once again. Jump in by Pingu, who tossed at Pangolier. Can they kill him? They almost do. That's a lot of damage, but he remains alive with the roll-up. Rice Boy is forced to BKB. Swap in by Fisher finds foreplay. Foreplay is BKB on cooldown. And they'll absolutely eviscerate the Shadow Fiend. They'll bring down the Willow as well. Willow buys back, but SF has no buyback. Jorvik goes down, has 3 deaths on the Radiant side. And this game is over. There's no buyback on Pango. There's no buyback on SF. What can you possibly do fighting down this much gold, fighting 3v5 into 2 lives on Luna? And there's the GG call. No surprise there. Fantastic comeback win for bad Faith Bloosher. And now they are up 1-0 in the 2-game series. Of course, look to make it a 2-0 victory. All but locking up the number 2 seed. Because if they do win the series, they would be at a They would be at, I believe, 15, 15 and 5. I don't care. I should probably put in a oops. 0, 2. So Royal Andy are sitting at 17. Their final record is 17 and 7, right? It's 17 and 7 after their forfeit win over Dads of Lads. Looking at the rest of Bad Faith Bloosher's schedule, if they win this series, they still have a pretty tough set of matches though, because you look at their next two series, and they're playing, two of the better teams in the group. I guess we do envisage now, and Bloosher, I hardly knew her, so of course it's never going to be easy, even if they do 2-0 the KU team. But if they 2-0 the KU team, they are of course in that driver's position. The most wins that Sine Pari and Bloosher, I hardly knew her, can get is 16. Royal Andy sit at 17. So and it'll be their one seed to lose at that point. Or sorry, their two seed to lose, I should say. Of course, the one seed is more than locked up by the funny zone. They cannot be caught by any team under any scenario. So yeah, unfortunately, I cannot join the lobby because I'm on no delay on the stream right now. That would be a competitive integrity issue. So I can't really do that. I'll have to wait for the lobby to catch up. For now, here's an endgame screen. Here's a scoreboard. Love coffee. Good old 10 p.m. casting coffee. uh, if we're being technical, it is not okay. It's not definitively stream cheating. I guess it could be stream cheating technically. Tie for the raid, by the way, math magician. For I don't quite know what you were casting, but I'm sure you were casting something. Of course, we are here for a lads season 16 group stage matchup. It is more or less the battle for the number 2 seed in the stronger of the two groups. Bad Faith Bloosher pulled a game 1 comeback victory over I Don't Care, Sign Me Up. And they were down by a lot, about 10,000 net worth, and well, they won the video game, so good comeback over there. Of course, the three-time lads champions KU and company will look to win game 2 and keep their number 2 seed dreams alive. I, for one, again, it's really important that you get a top 2 seed, because you look over at the other group, and you really, really, really do not want to play good twink hunting. If you're the 3 seed, if you're the 4 seed, you are liable to play them. If you're the 2 seed, you can't play them. So you really want to be the 2 seed. Obviously, 1 seed's even better, but Funny Zone secured that one mathematically. So getting that 2 seed is huge. It's avoiding the tougher first round bracket matchup. Of course, I guess anybody can win a Dota series, but you'd rather have worse opponents than better opponents, of course. Very dumb statement, I know, but I stand by it. I'm gonna probably go to the bathroom real fast while it's convenient to do that. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put this little thing on my screen. There we go. I should put up a few pixels over there. Okay. So I'll be back in, I don't know, we'll say 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Hopefully we'll be in there for game number 2 by then. But before the time being, I'll see you in a few minutes. All right, I'm back from my bathroom trip, from grabbing a little bit of water. Are we properly in the draft yet? We're not. It is, again, it feels really weird to cast in Dota TV because I never do it, but it's sometimes good to shake things up a little bit. Normally, of course, I would not do that, but uh, not today.
5 seconds remaining.
This is a very last minute cast for me. I actually did not plan on casting this series. So the initial plan was there was going to be a cast tonight between Royal Andy and the Dads of Lads. For those who haven't followed, me and of course former DPC player and brother of Andy Bendy, Salacious Sea Lion 62, aka Rook, aka Jim,
Dire team
have been the very dedicated Royal Andy caster duo tonight, or I should say all season. We've casted basically every series we could, other than when we literally played their team and the one time it was a schedule conflict. And the plan was casting tonight, but then Dad's Lads forfeited. And then I made other plans to do other stuff. And then the people, probably get this off the screen actually. The people requested
5 seconds remaining.
I cast this series. I got pinged by PMA in particular, asking me to cast this, and I was like, I don't want to do this. I'm busy. And then I realized, am I really that busy? The answer was no. I wasn't that busy. Nothing I was doing was that high a priority in my life, so I did this instead. And now I'm here. And honestly, I'm happy I'm here. It's a pretty good game one. Obviously, most of the people that are here now were not there for the horn fight. Pretty legendary horn fight occurred at the horn. 5v5 on the Radiant side, jungle. Of course, Bloosher playing the low grounds. I don't care. Sign me up playing the high grounds, but it was absolute chaos. It was a 5-for-4 trade at the horn. KU, the lone survivor, he walked in the lane on Invoker at level 2, which, again, is just not that common. You don't see it very often. Multiple bounty runes got untaken. It was that level of chaos. Like, I think it was the Dire Jungle and the Eastern River one were both not taken, so it was that kind of horn fight.
10 seconds remaining.
We do, of course, have a game 2, though.
5 seconds.
We are past game 1. I'm going to update my stream title, because naturally the players did not update the marked wins, because let's see. I mean, how many we have 26 captains, and maybe like 6 of them actually marked the wins properly. And of that 6, most of them are admins. So yeah. See here. Bans Ursa, Tusk, Luna, Clock, SK, SD, Doombringer, all banned. Apic Enchantress. Okay. Not quite sure why they did that, but they did it nonetheless. Was Ench first phase banned game 1? It was not. So Ench was actually untouched game 1. Was not picked. Was not banned. Apparently, I don't care. Sign me up. We're like, you know what? We just don't like the look of that game 1. Let's let's go not do that. Let's pick Enchantress instead. Bad Faith Bloosher say, you know what? We liked the way the game 1 went. We were down by a lot and we still won, so surely the lanes will go even better next time. They grab the Tiny for presumably Pingu, but this is naturally a flex hero. Rice Boy most certainly plays Tiny. I believe Pishtya plays Tiny. So you have multiple possible roles for the Tiny. I would guess it's going to be Sup, because that's kind of just the way the winds have been blowing on Tiny recently, but not that long ago we were seeing a lot of mid Tiny, so you never know. So basically, we are again seeing more bans. Dusa banned, Venge banned. Notice the number of Ice Yeti focused bans. Now again, notably Yeti is a bit of a hero puddler. Not as much today as he used to be. Obviously, back in the day, he was a notorious hero puddler. Really only played like 3 heroes. CK, Ursa, and CK, Ursa, and Weaver. But of course, as time goes on, his pool has gotten larger. He plays a very good Dusa. He plays a very good Luna now. He can play a Bloodseeker type hero. I mean, there's a lot of options here for Yeti. He's no longer simply the hero puddler of like 2019 anymore. But they're still trying to ban him out anyway. They banned the Luna. They banned the Dusa. They banned the Ursa. Say, you know what? Play another hero. Of course, CK is not very good right now. I don't know how much Weaver carry is like super popular. I think when my team played this team, we banned Weaver. We let through the other heroes. We banned out the Weaver. I'm actually gonna check that. I want to see what we bans. When we played this team, we banned Shadow Demon, Tusk, Luna. That's what we banned. We said, you know what, this Luna hero is a little broken. We're just gonna ban it. And later in the draft, we banned out Weaver. Later in the draft, we banned out Ursa and Medusa. But we didn't first phase ban out these heroes. We said, you know what, if you want to grab some Ursa hero 8-pick, you can grab Ursa 8-pick. KU not risking it, says, you know what, I'm just gonna ban it out. I'm not interested in that hero in particular if we're gonna grab first pick Enchantress. Underlord gets banned. Venge gets banned. 13 pick Earth Spirit. 14 pick Pangolier. So it's a real it's Sonic the Hedgehog matchup. We'll be rolling around at the speed of sound. Earth Spirit roll versus Pangolier roll. It's a terrible joke, I know, but I stand by it. Other heroes that roll, or is it just Earth Spirit, Pangolier, and of course heroes that can steal from that being Rubik and Morphling? Can Gyro roll? Can Dragon Knight roll? Can either of these heroes actually roll? Oh, Rubik! 3 rolling heroes! We're doing it! We're rolling! Too bad Yeti can't play Morphling. If Yeti actually can play Morphling, then I apologize, but I'm pretty confident that is not his hero.
5 seconds remaining.
Actually, I'm going to check the stats here. How many games of Morphling does Yeti have lifetime? The Yeti has 45 games on Morphling lifetime. Last time he played Morphling was 2021. He has a lifetime win rate of 48%. Any esports games on Morphling, perhaps? Let's go find out if any esports Morphling games. No, he's never played Morphling in a Captain's Mode ticketed lobby. Not once in his life, so he's not a Morphling player. Wow, so we have Dragon Knight selected as well. Seems like Twitch chat is on tonight with their predictions. So DK has been selected.
10 seconds remaining.
On top of that, we have Ancient Apparition, so a bit of a block pick, perhaps, ensuring that a hero like, say, Morphling cannot get selected by the Radiant side. Perhaps they see, you know what, they're rolling with Pangolier, they're rolling with Rubik. If they grab Morphling, they're going to roll with Morphling, so we have to block the Morphling pick with AA. I'm pretty confident 4Play does play Morphling at a decent level. I know back when this team had Pattern, they were big morph pickers, because I know Pattern also played it, but we 4Play is a 4Play Pattern flex at the time. when those two were both in the team, but and it's definitely not a KU hero. If it is, I have no recollection of it, which is rare. I've casted a lot of KU games in my time. Like if I had to guess, I've probably casted like 60 KU games, maybe 70 KU games, maybe even more than that at this point. I don't ever recall him playing Morphling, so if he plays it, then it's definitely not one of his big ticket heroes. But even then, he's a mid lane player now. He's abandoned the carry life. He plays Ember Spirit and Invoker and junk like that now. I don't know why I went that deep into it, but it seemed like an interesting topic, so. Hmm. So, a lot of reserve time is being used here by I don't care, sign me up, KU. Press the button, grabs the primal beast. That is naturally a 2-3 flex. Pangolier and PB both play off lane, both play mid lane. If I had to guess, it's Pangolier off lane, Primal Beast mid lane, but it probably could go either way. I'm not actually sure if KU plays Pangolier, but if he doesn't, maybe Joe Rick can go mid. They can put KU off lane. I mean, KU famously has said the words, I play all. And Joe Rick has played a bit of mid in the past, so perhaps we could see a bit of a lane swap between Joe Rick and KU. We'll see. We shall see. Last days of bans, Mars, Drow Ranger, SF, and now we're at one ban left for I Don't Care, Sign Me Up. Should probably put the little series score thing up there. Oh, is that right? That's the wrong side. Let's swap it around. There we go. We did it.
5 seconds remaining.
So, we're looking at a carry pick, almost certainly. I'm honestly not quite sure what hero foreplay would want with these heroes already banned. And Drow banned, SF banned, Medusa banned, Luna banned. Certainly not a Morphling game. I mean, maybe it's a hero who can naturally have some heft to him, perhaps a strength hero. Maybe an early BKB buyer. I have no idea what he wants here. Okay, it's a Brood Mother. In theory, a flex hero. In practice, I'm pretty confident that is the safe lane and carry this game. I don't know if I like this pick. I'm happy to be proven wrong, but it feels like a pretty hard game to play this hero. A lot of AoE damage. You know, DKs nowadays, they go red dragon as well. Oof. We'll see. Maybe they're going to cook something up and they actually we're gonna see a pattern classic for Bad Faith Bloosher. Of course, they do not have pattern on their team, but that's another hero who will be able to clear out some spiders later in the game. Again, Dawnbreaker, a lot of AoE damage. It'll be DK carry for Yeti, playing the Red Dragon. Pistia off lane, Rice Boy mid lane. They'll play 4 Tiny, 5 AA. What hat is AA wearing? Is that like a Pope hat? What is that? What is that hat? I'm looking at this hat. I have no. It's definitely something. It seems ecclesiastical in nature, but
5 seconds remaining.
I don't know. Do I not know the reference here? Is there a reference I just don't know? What reference am I missing? I clearly I'm being called uncultured here, but I like to become cultured, so I would love to be corrected. Very, very happy to be corrected. Wait, KU's playing Pangolier. Okay, so it's KU Pango mid, Jorik PB offlane. Not what I expected. But it is what we have. I do believe I need to schedule a haircut. Hair's getting a little bit long, but that's neither here nor there right now. Hey. Luckily, the strategy time should be ending. Yep, right around now. If you are just joining us, welcome to game number 2. Game number 2 of Bad Faith Bloosher taking on I Don't Care, Sign Me Up. If you missed game number 1, it was a pretty good game. A lot of back and forth action. Ultimately, a 10,000 gold comeback by Bad Faith Bloosher to take it. Of course, I Don't Care, Sign Me Up will look to bring it to a 1-1. This is more than likely the 2 seed at stake, so of course they're not the only 2 teams in that conversation. The other Bloosher side is in that conversation. The logical team is in that conversation, but it's a very tight group in Group B right now. My name is Badger. I will be your caster for the evening. A little bit of all chat. No good luck, have fun. Simply a from the screen to the ring to the pen to the king at Rice Boy. It's got to be some kind of a reference. A lyric of something. A reference that I am going to miss. Is that Neff Sensei in my chats? Hi, he's calling me bad. He's calling me bad. I mean, he's right, but man, I don't go by bad anymore. I go by nobody caster and dickhead now. If you want to call me those 2 things, you know, clearly those are. Those are insults that are thrown at me by very relevant people, of course. Look at this laning phase. This laning phase seems like it could be a little bit on the boring ends. A lot of these heroes are... How do I put it? A lot of these heroes are no longer heroes. They're more champions. You know, most heroes in Dota, they're heroes. But a couple of heroes are kind of more weedy champions. And this hobby has a lot of weedy champions, and it's like they've been downgraded from hero to champion, unfortunately, so... Eventually, it could be a pretty boring laning phase when you don't have heroes in your game and you have champions in your game, so... it is what it is, though. It is what it is. Yeah, and I wouldn't expect too much mid lane to happen unless somehow some kind of outplay happens. Top lane, again, there is some kill potential with the Primal Beast, particularly against the Ancient Apparition, if and when the time comes. And then bot lane. Been a good bit of good bit of action bottom lane so far, but yeah, no kill quite yet. There's been multiple attempts by Pingu and Pistia, but nothing that's connected quite yet. Mid lane, actually is almost a death mid lane. By Rice Boy, but it did not happen. Instead, bottom lane, they're diving tower for foreplay. Pingu secures the kill. And now at this point, again, Kobe will stand his ground, doing some counter damage, but the kill is a kill. Certainly a good one to get pre-6 Broodmother, of course. Looking over at CS, nothing too crazy so far. Yeah, nobody's really that far ahead or behind. In general, the Radiant cores are doing better. That might not last very long. You know what I want to see one day? I want to see somebody play Blue Dragon on Dragon Knight. 'Cause you see a lot of Red Dragon, a little bit of Green Dragon. You don't see any Blue Dragon. That's what I want to see. I don't know when we're ever going to see it, because I'm pretty sure it's not that good, but that day could come one day. It could come one day soon. I'm not sure when you would grab it, against what heroes and what game state you would do it, but I like the color blue on Dragon Knight. I think it looks a little more aesthetic than Green Dragon and Red Dragon, so I have my bias here. About as pointless of one as it can be, but one nonetheless. Interesting. Avalanche bottom lane hammer forward by Pistia, and they'll bring down Kobe. It's now 2 kills bottom lane by Pistia and Pingu, the P guy lane. Both in the off lane, both with P as the first letter in their name. Of course, that kind of was again, this is a rematch of the winners finals last season, and that also was the P guy series. Again, Pattern versus Pistia. Both of them went a little bit by P guy, so that was our P guy bowl. Of course, with Pistia winning that series, he became the only true P guy. Top lane onslaught forward by Joe Rick, but no kill, simply damage. Looking over at hero net worth, nothing too out of the ordinary so far. Nobody's too far ahead, too far behind. Both mid laners are in the front right now, though, which indicates there's been a lot of brawling in the side lanes, which is true. We have been watching the side lanes. There has been a lot of brawling. It is minute 6, so it is rune time. Where the rune spawns, we shall find out right around now. Both mid laners, Earth Spirit, Pangolier, head bottom, roll. Oh, it's perfectly timed by our Ice Boy. Beautifully done. And I'll grab some bounty runes for his trouble. Now he's rotating bottom lane. He pops the regen. Roll forwards off the mark, but again, the regen remains active. He will magnetize, looking for the edge. TP comes in from Pangolier. Pingu is low, Pingu is dead, but it will be vengeance time. It certainly will be a dead Enchantress. But will there be more? Perhaps not. Again, after a lot of stones committed by Riceblood, Magnetize has ended. He's still under that Radiant side bottom T1 tower. Both mid laners stay bottom for now. I do not suspect more Dota 2 will occur bottom lane, though. Seems like that one is over. We are going to see return of the Earth Spirit to the mid lane. Both Pingu and Riceboy are there. Of course, it is minute 7 now, so the Wisdom Rune has spawned. One will go to Beach Jeans. One will eventually go to Malefic. So nothing out of the ordinary. 1-for-1 Wisdom Rune trades. I do want to point out, though, Foreplay is very close to getting level 6 on the Broodmother. That's, of course, a massive spike on the hero. You acquire spiders, which is, of course, a big deal. It also is the, is really the facet as well, this game, for the Broodmother, so... A lot to be gained from having that level 6, of course. Big win for Foreplay once he gets it. It's not too far from it right now. Yeah, we're just, we're farming. We're farming everywhere. We're getting the gold. We're getting the XP. Getting top lane. Jorik's almost level 6. Yeti. He's also almost level 6. Again, Rune was contested by both mid laners, but it was KU who got it this time. Roll is up in 1. Riceblade will attempt to perhaps roll away. Solar Guardian heals a little bit. Pangolier roll cancels the Earth Spirit roll. Riceblade's still low. Fate Bolt hits. KU secures the kill via the Swashbuckler now. The fight continues. Starbreaker hits, but KU's still got about 500 HP to play with. It'll be fine. Actually, bottle on up. Ench rotates on over. Swashbuckler hits Beach Jeans. Beach Jeans gets Fabled down by Malefic. Pishja wants to kill on Rubik, but he will not find it. Instead, will turn on KU. The Enchantress Centaur stuns Pishja. Pishja runs away. In comes Riceboy, respawning into the fight. He is magnetized in 52 seconds. He'll kick KU under that tower. He'll Swashbuckler away. He tanks the hammer from Dawnbreaker. One more will do the job, and now Starbreaker will kill KU. It's finally a counter kill, and now the bounty rune goes to Kobe. Riceboy, of course, angry that his rune was stolen. Will try to roll on forward. He'll miss it entirely. He once again walks mid.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
So, Broodmother carry certainly is not the most orthodox carry pick in the world.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Top lane, Broodmother will actually rotate over. There's an onslaught against Dragon Knights. Tiny TP's in. Ancient Apparition TP's in. It'll be a 3v3 fight for the time being. Yeti is low. Onslaught forward, plus the trample will bring down Yeti as Foreplay and Jorik bring down, and Foreplay and Kobe bring down Beach Jeans. Again, they'll head over to Pingu. He's lifted to the left side by Malefic. They'll kite around and bring him down. That'll be 3 kills for I Don't Care. Sign me up. They'll, of course, work towards that top side T1 tower. The siege unit has arrived, and now Joe Rick will go bottom lane, looking to perhaps dislodge the dire side siege unit, which will succeed at doing. The Radiant Tower lives. The Dire Tower most certainly will not live. It's already dead. Mid lane, KU goes in for Rice Boy. Rubik TP's in. He'll toss the siege unit forward. Rice Boy barely lives. And now the siege is literally dead in more way than one. Funny play, though, nonetheless. Roll forward, misses Malefic. Malefic has a stolen toss still, but now he's tossed up by Tiny. He'll toss over to neutral Centaur as KU rolls over to bring down Rice Boy. It's roll against roll action, and Pangolier is winning that one so far this game. Pingu, again, it's getting kited around by Enchantress and friends. Double kill for KU and the Pangolier. That's 8 kills now for I Don't Care. Sign me up. And much like game 1, they are getting a lead. In that post-laning phase action, the lanes, they disintegrate, and this is where this team has been getting ahead. Look at this graph. The line is going up. It simply is. And the question will be is much like game 1, can they hold the lead? Notice, with the Broodmother, they're posturing very far forward. They want to control the dire side tri-camp. Both teams, of course, are here. Malefic is behind enemy lines right now. He might be too deep. They'll toss away the Earth Spirit. Beach Jeans nearly dies. Surely Rubik is dead. He's brought down by Rice Boy. And they will not avenge their Rubik for the time being. Note, though, the Ancient Camp is still alive. Yeti is hitting it, and... Again, Radiant have an idea what's going on right now via their double ward coverage, but it will not matter. It says, you know what, at this point, we're simply not stopping it. Our Rubik is dead, we're missing some key resources like Roll on Pangolier. We have to give it up. They did get the hard camp stack, though, so something was taken at the very least. So, there are some key items, of course, and some actually some key levels we still need. Ancient Apparition does not have level 6, which is bad. You definitely want level 6 on AA, of course. It is more or less the main reason why you pick the hero. The ulti is pretty good. The rest of the hero kit really isn't all that good, to be honest, so... You know, of course, Ice Blast is now here. Of course, we're looking at as well a blink on Tiny. We're not all that far from it right now. We're about 700 gold off. Earth Spirits, so he's not going to go for a Vessel. He's going Blade Mail into BKB. He's, of course, about a BKB away from BKB. Pangolier has finished the Visible Blade. He's draining some mana from Rice Boy. AA Blast will hit KU, but the roll continues from the Pangolier. He's hunting Rice Boy. Rice Boy's half HP, now a third HP. He's dropping, but he's not dying. Instead, they'll turn on KU to bring him down instead. Joricho onslaught forward. Looking for Pingu and Pishka. He'll go for Pishka, but there's not enough damage. The roll is perfect from Rice Boy. Hitting Joe Rick. He'll unstop the Dawnbreaker. That'll be a dead Primal Beast. Now Kobe's a new target. Rice Boy is still low. In comes Florpa looking to clean things up. The roll will miss. Impetus is not enough damage though. Rubik is dead. Now 3 kills for Bloosher. They'll finally get a counter kill on Pishti, but it's still a 3-for-1 rout in favor of bad Faith Bloosher. And again, they chose this fight on I don't care, sign me up. This is again very deep behind enemy lines. But they wanted the fight anyways, and it simply did not work. This Rice Boy guy, he's pretty tanky, and that's a problem, of course. Instead, Foreplay heads back to the top lane, but his spiders are dead. Now, I was mentioning that problem during the draft is I was questioning the Broodmother pick for the reason that there's a lot of good AoE on the dire side. Avalanche from Pingu. Malefic does not steal it. Rice Boy misses the roll. Now the kick is stolen. He'll kick away the Earth Spirits. But it is still a dead Rubik. Roll forward again. This time it's the Enchantress. They'll TP away. There's no cancel. There is a cancel. The roll is such a little cooldown. It canceled the Enchantress TP. That's a very dead Enchantress. Double kill for Rice Boy. And at this point, again, they're trying to play these webs, but it's just not working. And again, what was a pretty significant lead, about 2.5k lead, is entirely gone. Almost. It's less than half a K now. But I was mentioning the AoE damage concerns for the Broodmother summons this game. Again, tiny damage, AA Blast, Dawnbreaker damage, DK, Cleave, plus Red Dragon form. There's a lot of AoE damage. Meanwhile, bottom lane, they're gonna go in for Joe Rick. He attempted to onslaught away with the avalanche from Pingu into the cold feet from Beach Jeans. It's a free kill. But it's vengeance time. KU with the roll brings down Beach Jeans. Malefic stole the Ice Vortex for what that's worth. Pingu Will Avalanche Pangolier roll misses from Rice Boy. Now in comes the Solar Guardian to stun nobody, but he'll still heal a little bit. They want to bring down Pangolier, and he will do so in a few more hits. He couldn't outlive long enough to swashbuckle. Roll forward once again, Wilmith, but he finds Kobe. He'll attempt to pig pull away. He's very speedy. But there is no running from death in this case. That's now 3 kills. For Bad Faith Bloosher, they'll parlay that into a free bottom T1 tower. That's a big win there for Bad Faith Bloosher. Again, the lead will extend. They went from once again barely down to now they're in that 1,000 lead state. Even more than that now, I believe. The graph hasn't caught up quite yet. Top lane, the Shadow Amulets keeps Beach Jeans alive. That's... Again, if Jim was in this lobby, he'd be yelling at his brewmother, please, slot out a branch, put in a dust. It's one thing that my former captain Jim has instilled in me. It's buy dust. Especially on cores, buy dust. Here we go again. No smoke quite yet, but it's a nice blast. And an avalanche combo towards the brood mother. The hammer was absolutely dropped on the spider. Managed to the newspaper was dropped on the spider. Regardless, foreplay is dead. The kill goes to Pingu on the Tiny. And much like game 1, that Blink Tiny is pretty good. Once again, there'll be a similar build. Blink into Yules, perhaps Force and Wind Waker again after that one. And look who it is! It's Pingu! Combining with Pistia again! The roll and the onslaught are both there. The Pulverize was used, now to the Dawnbreaker. Dawnbreaker will hammer to the low ground, and now Pangolier will swap up on the low ground as well. They're in the river. KU tanks a Star Breaker. Avalanche there on 2, now the Solar Guardian. KU gets... See, I don't even know how he got away in that case. Maybe a swashbuckle regardless. Gets away for the time being. And now they're still pursuing. Rice Boy rolls forward. KU is trying to hide. He'll run to the east towards his Rubik. Rubik steals your spirit silence, but well, it turns out death will silence him. That's 2 more kills for Bad Faith Bloosher. Now a 3,000 net worth lead. They're up 17 kills to 10, and they're pinging the Roshan pit. It is daytime Roshan time, and count them 15 seconds. So, you know, of course, it's going to become daytime. Roshan's like, hey, you know what? This top lane side, not a fan any longer. It's too bright. I need some shade. Maybe there's some shade bottom lane or something. I don't know. I guess there are leaves on the trees, a little more shady, but he'll head on down to the bot side, and... well, of course, Bloosher will be ready. Could be a free Roshan, if I had to guess. And honestly, I don't need to guess, because I have Omnivision. I can see where the Radiant team are, and they're, well, not there. They're over here, and all the way over here, which, of course, none of which is at the Roshan pit on the southeast area of the map. So Roshan dies. We'll give that second life, perhaps, to Yeti on the Dragon Knights. Of course, a number of these transformation carries are often notoriously poor Aegis carriers, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. You say, you know what? I'd still rather have it on my carry, even if it's not necessarily optimal for him, based on the hero. It's still optimal based on the itemization and in the playstyle and whatever it has to be. Of course, both Tormentors now are alive. Last game, both teams were there at minute 21, actually, to grab an early Tormentor. Not the case for game number 2. There are, of course, some pretty cool shards to get. Notably, the Rubik shard is really damn good. You know, one of the better Aghanim shards in the game by my estimation, but for now, no shard. I feel like the Ancient Apparition shard could be pretty good as well. Having some global range stun seems pretty cool.
Dire are scanning.
Radiant grab their own Tormentor. Dire scan. They want to control the Radiant side. Tri-camp. They play the little high ground area. They'll avalanche towards Pangolier. He'll get tossed up in the air. The roll forward is off. The mark is a little bit short now. They still want to bring down Pango. Pango is slow, but he scuffles away. Riceboy pursues, but the roll from KU. They're so deep right now. Riceboy's forced to beat KB. There's a pulverize against Ancient Apparition. It's canceled by the Riceboy's roll forward. I should say roll backwards at this point. Jorik looks for an angle with an onslaught. He'll go towards the A, but misses it. Now he's stunned. He's caught. He's tossed up. He'll get brought on down. He's trying to trample. He's trying to kill. But it is futile. Only one hero dies. It is the primal beast of Jorik. Now Dire secure that middle lane T1 tower.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Perhaps to look for the tier 2, there's 2 lives on Yeti. Of course, that is a good excuse to go for the T2 mid lane. Radiant Glyph, of course. They'll have it refresh if that T2 dies. I suppose if it doesn't die, then that means their tower isn't dead. It's a bit of a win-win play there. A natural Dota move, really. So, one thing I've noticed is this game, basically every single interaction is going the way of Bad Faith Bloosher. But despite that, this game is not getting out of hand. If you look at the net worth situation, it's only a 4,000 lead, which is not that big. Despite it only being a 4,000 lead, though, Dota Plus is pretty confident that Dire are going to win. Now, keep in mind, this time last game, it was I don't care signing up to a 10,000 lead. Hold that thought in me. Onslaught forward by Jorik with the Shivas on top. He'll pulverize an Dawnbreaker. Dawnbreaker is dead. The avalanche hits only Broodmother. The spiders are injured, but not quite dead. Yeti walks forward. Ice Blast will miss. But this time last game,
Dire's
I don't care, sign me up. We're up by 10,000 gold. But Dota Plus did not believe. They gave him a very low win percentage relative to the amount they were heading gold. Riceboy will split the wickets on his roll forward, and that might cost him his life. He's very low on the HP with the BKB, so the avalanche on 3 is there from Pingu. Into a cold feet for the time being, but nobody's dying quite yet. And now in comes death. Rubrik has fallen. Riceboy rolls forward, still keeping back on a bunch of effort heroes. Earthspirit eventually will dive its trade for Enchantress. Onslaught comes in from Jorik, hitting Pingu, but Jorik will lose his life for that play. Now 4-play. Tries to run, but Tiny slaps him down. It's a 4-for-2 trade. A big win for the side of Bad Faith Bloosher. And again, despite the relatively small lead, Dota Plus really believes right now. So you know what? It's only a 4K lead, 5K lead, but we like the heroes. We like the players.
Radiant's middle tower.
81% chance. So perhaps Dota Plus, the AI, 2-for-2 tonight. Because it did not believe in KU's lead game 1, and it was right. And now it very much believes in this Dire team, despite it being a very small lead. So, again, big win for the Dota Plus AI tonight. If this game 2 goes the way of Bloosher. Bottom lane, there is a do-si-do between KU and Pistia. Ultimately, nobody will die, I do believe. Though KU is under vision with no roll TP as an option, they'll eventually run him down. He'll swap up to the west side, but it's towards a bunch more Dire side heroes. Pistia will barely live. KU will not. That's one more kill for Riceboy. The man's so legendary he can eat burgers for 4 hours. He's 6'3 and 13 on the Earth Spirit right here, right now, and he's looking to lead his team to a 2-0 win over the 3-time champions.
Radiant's bottom.
Here we go. Bot tier 2 is under attack. Bot tier 2 is dead. Could not see who got the last hit because Dota TV is broken, but it's probably Dragon Knights. Pistia is top lane. They perhaps could go on him, but
Radiant's bottom tower is
It sounds easier said than done. Instead, Bad Faith Bloosher are simply going to win this eco game right now. Jorik will hunt for Pistia. Pistia, I believe, saw him on the Sentry Ward. He'll harpoon the Primal Beast. That Primal Beast will onslaught to the west side. Rice Boy pursues. He'll have one more roll in 2 seconds. There's an avalanche from Pingu into the roll from Rice Boy into perhaps a toss from Pingu into the Starbreaker from Pistia. That's some fantastic team lockdown. They spaced it out well, and they ensured that Joe Rick was simply Jover.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Sorry, that was terrible. Mid lane foreplay once again will lose his menagerie of spiders.
Dire's bottom tower has
I don't actually know what the pluralization of spiders would be. I mean, I guess spiders works, but often there's a like a fancier term, maybe a clutch of spiders, perhaps.
Dire's bottom tower
I'm just gonna look that up real fast. A clutch of spiders, perhaps.
is under attack.
Okay, that is not a thing. A clutch of spiders refer to the group of eggs, apparently. So
Radiant's top
let's look up a plural of spiders. Is there a okay, maybe. So apparently you can call a group of spiders a clutter or cluster of spiders.
Radiant's top tower
If Google is to be believed, which more and more nowadays do not be believed, unfortunately, but it is what it is. I think cluster sounds about right, though. 5-man smoke up from I Don't Care, Sign Me Up. They do not want to die in their base. They're at their own tri-camp. They're running towards Pistia. Yeti becomes the dragon. Foreplay runs towards Yeti. Onslaught by Joe Rick will do nothing. Ice Blast comes in, hitting on 2. At this point, it's an absolute disaster for Joe Rick. KU is still rolling, but what is he possibly doing other than rolling on around? He'll bring down Pistia. Now Jorik will buy back its desperation time. Avalanche on 3 from Pingu. Foreplay is low. KU is up. It's an onslaught against Ice Yeti. Ice Yeti only has 1 life right now. They're trying to bring him down. He's over from the team fight. Instead, it's Pingu who's left relatively alone. Rice Play will attempt to join the fights, but Pingu has already fallen. First Spirit ulti is active. It brings down Rubik, but it's now over. At this point, he's low on mana on Earth Spirit. Rubik buys back Earth Spirit BKB, so bring down the Pangolier. Rubik steals Breathe Fire, and now Foreplay will head towards Rice Play. Rice Play is entirely out of mana, other than enough mana for 1 roll, and barely 1 roll is enough to roll with. Now Yeti will stand his ground, but he's once again ulted up by Primal Beast. There's 1 more roll forward by Rice Play, but it's perhaps too little too late. And now both Rubik and Earth Spirit will die to roll damage. Beach Jeans, the lone survivor, will end up being saved by Pistia, who had the Solar Guardian on his respawn. So, respawn? Did he die? He did. Yeah, he did die. So there was a fight so long that the Dawnbreaker respawned to heal the AA there. Overall, though, a very chaotic fight top lane. I Don't Care signing up. They got a lot out of that fight, though. They got a lot of gold, they got a lot of experience, but it cost them numerous kills, and it cost them 2 buybacks. 1 on Rubik, 1 on Primal Beast. I'm calling it a win for the Radiant side, but it's a very costly win. Perhaps they'll give them the XP they need to begin to get some key spikes in levels. Again, notice we have 18 on Pangolier now. We have 20 on the Broodmother. Maybe these are the things we need. I'm not quite sure. Oh, that's not that. I mean, 35 attack speed is 35 attack speed, but I was kind of hoping this 20 talent would say something like, win the game or something. That's not the case. It's just some attack speed. Not that it's bad, but again, look at Hyperstone, right? That's 60 attack speed, so if we were to look at that on a Hyperstone scale, it's what is that, like 1166 gold worth of attack speed? Not that it's bad, but what can you do? I will say though, this is a remarkably similar net worth lead to to what I don't care, sign me up had game number 1. So perhaps, if patience is right, we'll see a game 2 Bloosher throw. In that case, both teams will have thrown a 10,000 net worth lead tonight, which would be pretty impressive. You don't always see a 10,000 net worth throw, certainly not by both teams in the series in the same night, but crazier things, of course, have happened in Dota in general, especially in LADs. There have been a lot of very notable comebacks in LADs history. I've been a couple of them. I've been on both the right side and the wrong side of some pretty epic comebacks, so crazy things can't happen in LADs. You know those memes where it's like the Vietnam flashbacks? That time there were flashbacks to Game 5 Grand Finals. It keeps happening. I keep having flashbacks to it. What can you do? What can you do? There's a sports documentary called "The Four Falls of Buffalo," where it chronicles the 4 Buffalo Bills Super Bowl losses. And if you make a Badger Lads documentary, it'd be the 4 losses to whole city. That would be lost 3 of 4. Mid lane roll from KU, force the BKB out of Pistia. Pingu, TP's in, Harpoon from Pistia finds KU, he'll Starbreaker to stun. Ice Blast comes on in, but it'll be a little bit off the mark. Pistia's very low, but still not quite dead. Kobe wants to secure the kill, in comes Joe Rick on slotting. Roshan dive is secured by Ice Yeti. Pistia is saving the Glimmer Cape from Beach Jeans. And for the time being, nobody's dead. Roll hits KU from long range. Goodbye, Pangolier. Goodbye, Rubik. That's 2 more kills for Bad Faith Bloosher on top of their Roshan kill. So that's some goodies going the way of Ice Yeti. Or as he's known in some circles, Nice Yeti. So, of course, 2 lives for the Dragon Knight. And, of course, a banner when the time calls for it. Did he just hand a bottle or something? I don't know. I saw something change hands there, but not important. Mid lane, we're going to see some buildings die. The Ranger Axe are dead. The Nether Axe will die as well. Meanwhile, into the Dire base, you see Ice Blast used to dislodge the Spiderlings. Foreplay was looking to apply some counter pressure. Meanwhile, bottom lane, we see Bloosher looking for a second set of barracks. And they're going to get them. Meanwhile, Foreplay is still there top lane. I'm looking to make it perhaps a 2-for-1 Rax trade. Back to the bot lane. Radiant Glyph. But I don't think they can defend any longer. We see Dawnbreaker TP back. Netherrax die top lane to Foreplay, so he has gotten something buildings-wise. Back to the bottom lane, the full set has been taken. Onslaught is there to bring down Beach Jeans, and now Jork will BKB, Yeti will BKB, Rubik becomes the dragon as well. Roll in by Rice Boy, hits the Pangolier, he's half HP. He's being kited around right now. In return of Pistia is there from the Solar Guardian. KU is dead, he's got no buyback. Rice Boy is low, but if he dies, it's for a very good cause. Foreplay is tossed on up. Malefic is very low. He's brought down by Yeti. Foreplay is incredibly low. Eventually, he'll end up dying. No, he's still alive! But his team is not so lucky. Pingu is in the fountain. He'll Windmaker out of the fountain. They're trying to keep Foreplay out of the fight right now. And temporarily they will do so, and the GG is called. It's a 2-0 win for Bad Faith Bloosher. Taking down the 3-time champions, I don't care, sign me up. And their road to the number 2 seed in Group B is in their hands. They are the ones who control their path. Big win for Bad Faith Bloosher. I'm going to update the series score right now. There it is. 2-0. Huge. Triumphant win, I would say. That's a statement win. That's the exact kind of win that you want. And again, they now sit at 15 wins and 5 losses with 4 to play. Of course, they play tough opponents. They play Logical's team, and they play Patience's team, the other Bloosher team. So neither series will be easy, but if they can walk away with some wins, I think if they can get 2 wins in that, they'll probably end up taking the 2 seed. I have to calculate that one, but again, big wins there for Bad Faith Bloosher. For I Don't Care, Sign Me Up, they are now in a relatively hard spot regarding making winners out of groups. Of course, they still have some more series to play. They have 2 more series. They play Skater and they play Logical, both of whom, of course, will also be looking for those top 4 seeds. So it's a very tight group looking for those remaining winners bracket spots in Group B. It's tight. It's real tight. Of course, my team outside looking in right now. We're mathematically eliminated as points. But it is what it is. We've already known we've been eliminated for a week now. Regardless, we are going to wrap things up at some point, I'm sure. Pretty soon. Anybody live on Discord that I want to raid? Not really. I guess I'll just end the stream. I guess I can raid DNM. I don't think he really needs my 26 viewers, but you know what? He'll get my 26 viewers, so I will raid brother of legendary lads player Derek Casio. He's playing Timbersaw? Ew. He's playing Timbersaw. As always, guys, thank you for watching. If I'm going to cast your games, cast your tournaments, contact me over on Discord. Batter Pablo on Discord, over on Twitter, twitter.com/BadDota2. I'll be back whenever I'm back. And thank you for watching. Have a great night.